Hello, good evening, good day, good morning, good afternoon to you. Hello, hello. Welcome to the indoor garden green space. I have a few things that I've been up potting and I'd like to show you what they are. If you'd like to see what kind of seedlings I was able to get to grow that haven't died yet, stay tuned. So I have been extremely surprised at what's been growing in my little garden green space. So I'm going to show you all what I have going on here because I do have a few things I probably need to up pot still. If you watched a couple of previous videos, you would have known that I started out, I'm looking for them, with little plastic bags. Here are my little plastic bags. And I wet a paper towel. I labeled and dated the paper towel, put the seeds on it, put it in the plastic bag, and set it in the greenhouse. Well, I have been going through these plastic bags, looking at them, seeing if anything's growing, seeing if anything's rotting. If anything has sprouted, I've placed them in the little plastic takeaway containers that I've had, and I have just continue to check on them. I said in the previous video that I would let it sit for 7 to 14 days, but in all actuality, you really can't do that. You have to check on these every day, especially if you have them on a heated grow mat like I do and or lights, because all of that is going to do one or two things. It's going to create a lot of condensation. Don't know if you can see all the condensation and wetness in this bag, but there's a fair amount of condensation. And the other instance is it will dry some of these things out, and then your seeds will dry out, your seeds won't germinate. It's a whole thing. And so I've been checking on these pretty much every single solitary day. So let's just jump into this, shall we? Because I know y'all want to see what's going on in here. As I mentioned in a previous video, my indoor garden green space is not properly set up, but you use what you have. And when I very first started out growing indoors, which was about 5 or 6 years ago, I purchased one grow light that goes across the top of the greenhouse. And then I was at Walmart and they have the clip-on kind. You all can probably see it right there. And I picked up four of those. And what I realized is they're too large for this space, and they don't clip up under here the way I need them to. So I have to clip them on the side, which causes the plants to stretch to get the light, which is not a good thing. So what I'm probably going to do is I have a couple of things at the top over here that have not germinated yet. I'll probably move those and move a few of these on the second tray to the top tray so that they're not reaching, because right now as I'm looking at them, they're reaching. So let me show you what I have. I do apologize if I'm looking off that way. That's where my red light is. You guys are right there. Y'all know I have a problem with looking at the red light and not looking at y'all, so I do apologize. So getting started, I have a little takeaway container right here. Nothing special. I've been using this as a miniature greenhouse inside of the greenhouse. And I have my little paper towels on top. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my paper towels off and move them to the side, because it looks like I need to uncover this now, because one of the babies is taller than the actual container. So it needs to be open so that it can just all the way grow. Now, what I have in here are moringa and loofah. That big baby right there is a loofah. And all the rest of these, 2, 4, 5, I had 6, but I think one of them might have succumbed. Well, that's okay. 5 is good. So I have 5 loofah, as you can see. I don't want to drop it on the ground and hurt them. I have 5 loofah, 5 moringa and 1 loofah. And if you can see, they're bending that way. So they actually need the light. So I need to move this to the top up here. So I'm going to do that right now as we're talking, and I will determine whether or not these seeds, after I look at them, if they need to be moved somewhere else for the time being. So this is what I have growing in this container. Now on the paper towel, I just wrote on here what it was. I'm going to place the paper towel just kind of catty corner on the little makeshift greenhouse. That way I won't forget, but just in case. And I'm going to place this on the top up here, just like this. That way they are getting light from the top and they're not bending and stretching trying to get some light. So we're going to put that up there all the way at the back. Now I have a second one like that. This right here, and I'm very surprised at this one. This is bitter melon. So I have 2 bitter melon that have germinated. I wasn't certain about this first baby right here because it's taken a couple of days for it to come up, but I have 2 bitter melon. So I'm going to place that baby right up here in front of the loofah and the moringa. And I have bitter melon in this little bag right here. I have 2 seeds. It doesn't appear that they have germinated, but I'm going to open it up on camera so that you all can see what I'm talking about. So give me just a quick second. Let me open this up, open the bag, see what's going on in here. Okay, so you know what? Let me bring y'all down. It'll be a lot easier for me to bring y'all down than to hold this up because I don't want to drop anything. So let me bring y'all down. Now excuse everything I have around my feet. This is my indoor garden grow space. So you're going to see things that I have, such as cups and bags of seeds and soil and vermiculite and water and all that. This is a grow space. So that's what's here. This seed, which I thought was not going to germinate, as you can see, has begun to germinate. This is the main reason why I put seeds on paper towel, to stop wasting so much time trying to figure out if the seed was viable by putting it in soil and waiting and waiting and waiting. I started these 4 seeds on the 1st of February. Today is the 9th of February. So this seed now has begun to show life. This seed looks like it is trying to mold. So nothing's going on with this seed right here. So since this baby has begun to come out of soil, out of the seed itself, the seed pod, the coating, I am going to take the actual pot that I have over here with the bitter melon, and I'm going to make a little hole right here. Can you all see that? I'm going to take this seed, trying not to squish, trying to be very delicate, and I'm going to just place that on the side, on its side in the soil, and I'm going to cover that up just like that. I'm going to just lightly tap, and I'm going to water everything in before I go in for the evening. So I now have 3 bitter melon in this container. So I'm going to place this back inside of the top shelf, and then I'm going to put this back in the bag. And if this germinates, great. If not, no big deal. I have 3 bitter melon already growing. Now that's an awful lot of bitter melon for me since I don't really care for it, but it's good for you. And so I am going to continue to try to find different ways to eat it. I'm also going to share with my sister-in-law, and I don't know if my brother will eat it, but I'll give it to my sister-in-law and she'll figure it out, as well as my sister. So I'm going to take this last little seed and put it on the seed mat right in front of where I have the bitter melon. So let me move y'all. What I was saying was I just took that seed, that bitter melon seed, and I put it right here in front of the bitter melon container. So that way I know this is bitter melon. Now over here, I just purchased some strawberries. I was at Wally yesterday, I think it was, or maybe the day before, and they had some strawberries, 10 in a little green packet. Y'all know how they come at Wally. And so let me show y'all what I did. I, of course, did not grow these from seed, but they were very, very young and extremely immature. And so as y'all can see, look, there's some insects that came out of there. That's why this is in the garage. They were not waking up like they are now, but as you can see, I have moistened the soil. I just put the crowns in there along the side of the container and just let them be. I did not try to set them in there perfectly. I just plopped them in. And so I'm going to sit this in here, let them grow on, get a little healthier, and hopefully by my last frost date, these will be strong enough to go outside. So I'll be watering these in as well. So I'm just going to place these back in the greenhouse up under the light. They were not looking that good. They're looking really good today. So the rainwater and the light has really woken those up. Now, on the second shelf, we're going back to the second shelf. I also have loofah. So I have loofah, as you can see that little green, you probably can see right there, it's coming out of the seed. You see that? That's loofah. So I have those on the second shelf. I have 3 of these. Now this one, I don't see anything with this little guy. But I know there's a seed in here, but I don't see anything. So I'm going to leave him alone and place him back on the shelf. Now that's all that I have. Let me stop lying. As I look down here, let me see. You all were with me on January 27th when I planted or I sowed these onion seeds. I sowed evergreen bunching, scarlet bunching, Dolores chives, and garlic chives, all in this container on the 27th of January. And as you all can see, I only have one tiny little row that have decided to wake up. So I'm thinking the rest of these seeds might not be worth anything. So I believe these are the scarlet bunching, but it's kind of strange because normally they would have some kind of red on them. So I'm hoping I didn't turn this container around incorrectly. So those are either scarlet bunching or garlic chives. I don't know. We'll see as they get a little bit bigger. But that's all I have so far here. So I'm going to place that back down there. And let's see what we have here. Also, same type of container. I put in here pepper seeds, poblano, sweet banana, carnival, sweet pepper mix, and I put Turkish eggplant in here. So I'm just going to move the paper towel back and see if I have any seeds that have germinated. And so far, I don't see, and I really should have my reading glasses on. I see one seed, which is the carnival mix that has a tiny little root coming out. Just one. And I put 4 of each of these seeds in this container. So I'm going to let that grow on just a little bit more. It's moist, so I don't need to put any more water on here. So, and that root was so tiny, you all probably couldn't see it. So that's what's going on in here. Out of all 4 of these different varieties, one tiny little seed has a tiny little bitty root coming out of it. So I'm going to put that back down there. Now, what I have noticed is in this container, it is not staying as moist as it needs to stay. So I've had to really pay attention to this one. This is the jalapeno and the serrano. And so let's take a look and see. Okay, same with this one. I have one tiny, tiny, tiny little bitty root coming out of the jalapeno. Same with, and that's one seed. And the same with this serrano. I actually have 2 And I don't know if you all can see this, but I'm going to try to show you this one. So let's look down. Okay, so I'm going to pull this back, trying not to displace my seeds. But can you all see right here? There's a tiny bitty root on there coming out. And there's a little bitty root on that one and a little bitty root on that one. I mean, it's tiny. So I'm going to let these germinate a little bit more before I put them in some soil. I just want to get that root out a little bit more. And this paper towel is very moist, so I don't need to wet this. I wet these last night. Like I said, this particular container has not been playing nice when it comes to staying moist. So I'm actually going to place this one on the second shelf. And I took this one off the top shelf. Let's see. This is cayenne, sweet yellow pepper, paprika pepper, and Fresno pepper. So let's see if I have anything germinating here. And you all get to see that for the first time. Now, these two right here are advanced a bit more. So these two I'm going to take out of here. Oh, and this one. Can you all see that? And I'm going to put that in some soil. So let's take a look. I have 2 cayenne and 1 Fresno. So I'm going to pop these up with you all. So give me just a second. Let me grab a container. Let's see. I have one over here. Let's close this up because I don't want to drop anything. I don't want to lose anything. So I have this container right here. This has the fish pepper and the purple tomatillo. And let's see how this is going. Oh, lovely. Look. Can you all see? Looky, looky, looky. I finally have a pepper that's decent looking. This is the fish, and these two are purple tomatillos. You probably cannot see that one, but you might be able to see that tiny, 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 tiny bit of green. So that's all that has grown here. So I have some space here and here that I'm going to try to put the cayenne and the Fresno, okay? So let me get set up and get a tray so that I don't drop anything, and I'll be right back. Okay, everybody. Because the roots had grown into the paper towel, I did not want to try to pull the root out of the paper towel. So I just took the paper towel and broke it away from the big piece of paper towel. So now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to try and, because I think that's a bit of a root that I can see through the paper towel. It's not really working. I was trying to press it down a little bit, so that's not really altogether working. So let me get a little tiny bit of soil. Well, you know what? I'm not going to get soil. I'm going to take some vermiculite. I'm going to take some vermiculite that I have down here at my feet, and I'm just going to try to lightly cover the paper towel and not necessarily the little seedling, just a little bit. That way the paper towel will stay moist, and hopefully as it connects or lays on top of the soil, it will begin to compost down, if that makes any sense. All right. Now with this one, I'm just going to go ahead and give it some water, because that is going to be very dry, that vermiculite. So I'm not watering the seedling itself, but I am watering the vermiculite, and I'm watering around that seedling. Of course, the seedling is going to get the water because it's still attached to the paper towel. And since I'm going ahead and watering, I'm just going to spray a little bit near my tomatillos and my pepper, just like that. And I'm going to spray down the center just to kind of moisten this, just in case it's a little bit dry. It doesn't appear to be dry, but I want to make sure it stays moist. I don't want it to dry out on me. All right, so now that I have that, let me see if the top, if I can find what I did with it. If the top is the pepper, excuse me, the pepper itself is beginning to touch the top. So now it's time to take this top off and move it just a little bit over like that. Can you all see what I'm doing? So now I am going to take the paper towel and lay it just like this. That way I know what's what. I have the fish pepper, which is right there, the purple tomatillos, which is in the center, the cayenne pepper here, and the Fresno right here. So I'm just going to turn it sideways like that. And this is going to need some light. So I'm going to need to find a spot on the top shelf where I can place this and it not fall over. So let me do that and I'll be right back. So that's all I have germinating inside of the greenhouse. Everything else is still in varying stages, as you saw when I opened up the paper towel. The peppers are slowly onesie twosies starting to germinate, and I myself personally only need 2 pepper seeds out of all the variety of peppers I have sown. So if I get 2 out of all the varieties that I've sown, I'm okay with that. So I want to say thank you for joining me in the indoor garden green space. I hope you enjoyed. See, I have to stop moving my hands like Vanna White. I am not Vanna. I hope you enjoyed what I've shown you this evening. Hopefully the spring garden will have a significant amount of food in it. I've got lots of plans I hope to be able to put together, lots of different areas that I've created that you all have seen little snippets of. So I'm hoping that all the seeds I've sown outside directly are going to come up. I don't know. And I'm hoping to get a significant amount coming out of the indoor garden green space. So again, thank you for joining me today. I appreciate you watching each and every time I upload a video. I want to thank all of you for your kindness, your thoughtful words, your generosity. And if you like this video, give me a thumbs up, leave me a comment, share the video if you so choose, and I hope to see you either in my garden, my kitchen, or my indoor garden green space real soon. Bye for now.